Welcome Libra to your 2020 November reading. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. If this is the first time you've tuned in, I offer free mini readings for all new subscribers. So if you've got a question about this particular reading or something that this reading doesn't cover for you, just click the subscribe button and ask your question in the comments below. Or if you'd like to keep it out of the public forum, just email me and I will be happy to answer you in private as well. But let's get into your November reading. Now, November starts out with a feeling like there's a little bit of a stalemate going on in your life. And it's almost like you find yourself unable to choose. And because you can't choose, you're not moving forward at all. And this is kind of mirrored in the card of the Hangman. And, I'll go into that a little bit later, but, usually the Two of Cards reflects almost like an inner conflict that you're at odds with within yourself more than something that you are having a conflict outwardly with anyone. But part of the dilemma is that you just want to you don't want to face the issues that are at hand. And it's like, you're faced with a decision, but the decision may be just too difficult or too painful to make. So you're kind of pushing it to the bottom of your to-do list and pretending that the problem isn't there and hoping in a way that it's going to resolve itself. But the card asks you, the Two of Swords actually asks you to make a choice so you can move forward. And it's almost like, November is kind of saying to you that you've got to release yourself from this trap of avoidance. And it's only you that's got the key to kind of set you free. But, if that doesn't resonate with you, it could be that you are sort of in a war of wills with someone else. And if that's the case, the card kind of asks you to find a compromise, or if you can't do that, seek mediation from a third person, because it's not a pleasant situation to be in when you're feeling, stuck and like you're not going anywhere. But it's almost like there is this significant decision that you are having to make. But I feel like things are going to be really turning out well for you because you've got the Nine of Cups. Now, the Nine of Cups is one of those cards that is nicknamed the Wish Come True card, and it's one of the most joyful cards in the deck, and it lets you know that your dreams are really going to be able to come to fruition. And you have so much to be joyful and grateful about. So if this is an internal conflict within yourself that you are struggling with, just know that everything's going to be turning out wonderfully for you. So just make that wish, because, that Nine of Cups kind of tells you your wishes are going to be coming true. Now, the Nine of Cups can also indicate enjoying great luxury and beautiful things in life as well. So it's just such a happy card filled with a lot of happy emotions too. Now, you've got the Queen of Swords here. Now, the Queen of Swords can represent an air sign. So that is a Libra like yourself, an Aquarian, or a Gemini. And I feel like some of you could potentially be making a really stable, strong home or foundation with this person in November. But the actual meaning of this card is it's almost like asking you to clear up a lot of the clutter or emotional distractions that you've got in your life that's preventing you from moving forward as well. And this card kind of is a card of wisdom, and it's wisdom that comes about because of the many life experiences that you've had to date. And some of them are uplifting and some of them are quite challenging, but because of your because of the wisdom that this has given you, it's like it's allowing you to have inner peace. You've kind of earned inner peace, and it's almost like you've come to know how to handle just about any situation that comes through for you in your life, and that comes through in the Queen of Swords as well. And it's like you can actually handle, you've sort of learned through all of the hardships and all of the good times as well how to deal with any sort of situation. Now, this card can also, it's just a side note for some, this card can actually talk about someone who has been divorced, as well as people who have a really dry sense of humor. But as a person, this Queen of Swords is quite they're quite an amazing type of person. They get rid of anything, and sometimes even anyone that no longer serves them in their life's purpose. So when it comes to friends, drama queens or kings, they need not apply, because this person just won't tolerate them. And they have experienced nearly everything in life, and they're able to turn sadness or challenges from the past into strength and an amazing sense of humor. And the Queen of Swords kind of wields this like a bit of a magic wand. Now, I really feel like this is you, Libras. This is you in November. You are really this person that you can solve any problem or any difficult situation at a glance, and you immediately know what to do. And that makes you an amazing confidant. People are generally drawn to you. And, you really like to steer clear of those who don't take responsibility of their own lives. You can't really tolerate it. And you're the sort of person that will hold people accountable if they do ask for your help. So if they're just kind of wasting your time and they're doing the whole blame game, you don't want to have a bar of it. So I really am feeling like this is you, or it's some, if that describes someone in your life, they are going to be playing a very significant role in November. Now, you have the Four of Wands. Now, the Four of Wands, it talks about such a wonderful time in your life. It's one where your work's been rewarded and you feel the comfort of abundance in your life, and you have a sense of peace and the promise of a joyful life. And it's almost like when you get the Four of Wands, it's like everything, all of the hard work that you've put into getting where you are at this point has really been widely acknowledged, and it's deserved as well. You really deserve to be acknowledged for where you've come to this point. And you're being appreciated as well. And financially, you're feeling like a sense of stability. And the Four of Wands kind of says that it might be time to focus on the joys of your family life. And this is often the marriage card. So some of you might be getting married or starting a family or building a home, or perhaps doing all three. But it's really time when you get this card to express the gratitude to the people in your lives, as well as to the angels and the universe who have been right there beside you, whether you felt them or not. They're there. And it's really time, I think, in November to say thanks for that, because you just have this wonderful, you just have this wonderful life in November. It's really showing you've really got this secure, stable home and environment that I feel you could also be building it with, as I mentioned before, building it with this Queen of Swords, building it with this air sign. Now, you've got the Seven of Pentacles, as well. And the Seven of Pentacles is such a wonderful card. It's a card of hope, and it's also a card of patience. And it's a card that talks about any efforts that you have put into an endeavor or a project are going to be rewarded. It's like you have planted the seeds in a garden, and they will take time to grow. All seeds need that time to grow and bear fruit, but you are going to they are going to bear fruit. So if you've got any fears or worries that something you are planning isn't going to turn out the way you want it to, really don't worry about it, because when you get the Seven of Pentacles, it tells you your plans are going to work out just fine. And it's just kind of a timing thing. So if things aren't going exactly as the way you want them or expected to at this time, don't worry. It's just timing. They're going to happen exactly as you plan them. And it could be that things feel like they have come to a standstill. And again, right next to the Hangman, which does talk about that feeling of things coming to a standstill and not moving forward. But this is only temporary, and your plans are going to gain momentum and they're going to work out. So really don't stress about this at all. And, just to go into further depth with the Hangman, the Hangman does talk about that. Things have come to a standstill, or you may be feeling like they're coming to a standstill, but it's only temporary. And it's almost like it's to allow you to reflect on where it is that you want to go. It's in some decks, this card is called the Awakening, and it's like you are in this state of suspended animation almost, but it's because it's giving you life, and the universe is giving you an opportunity to really review your plans and make sure that what you've learnt to date hasn't created a need to change your strategy. So, take this opportunity to maybe look at things from a different perspective, because that's definitely what the Hangman also talks about. And rather than trying to fit into other people's expectations, do what serves you best. and show the world exactly who you really are. You don't have to do everything as everyone else expected things to be done. You're unique, and you absolutely can do this, and achieve your goals in the way that's going to suit you the best. Now, you have the Death card there, and the Death card is one of those cards that really talk about releasing a situation that no longer serves you anymore. And it's almost like there's an ending for you, but it's an ending of the things that are slowing you down. It's an ending of this stalemate situation in the two. It's an ending of this hangman situation where you're not feeling like you're going anywhere. And it's a message that I think things in November are going to be moving on. It's almost telling you it's time to move on now. And you don't have to be in any rush. The Death card sort of says it's best to take your time moving through any changes, because sort of ending one part of your life and moving on to another part, it can be, even though it is wonderful, like for instance, having a baby. If you have a baby, the life you knew as it was ends, and you have a completely new life. And there might be a little bit of sadness that you're not able to go out and party anymore, or do the things that go out and have, the time that you had in the past when you didn't have that precious little life to care for. But there's an absolutely new and wonderful life ahead of you as well. So you need to let go of the past so you can move on and be that wonderful person that you are now going to be. And if you are struggling with anything, just reach out to your friends or to your family and ask them for guidance as well. It's a really good time when you get the Death card to face any fears that you might have as well. Face your fears, and that's going to kind of allow you to really be in complete control of your future, because if you can face them, then you've got nothing that's going to really stop you or hold you back. And the Death card actually brings with it some great spiritual insights and some personal transformation. So it's actually quite a really positive card to get. And this kind of leads into the Six of Swords, and the Six of Swords is one of those cards that kind of says, finally, you can actually see the end of any challenging times that you've had in your life, and now you've got the chance to move on. It represents that light at the end of the tunnel, and it's almost like you can just allow that stress that you've been feeling to fall away, and what you see before you is the light of a brand new day. And any conflicts can get resolved. So in turn, that includes any conflicts like the Two of Swords, that internal conflict that you've got with yourself. And if you have been feeling a little bit depressed, that there's going to be relief there as well when the Six of Swords sort of shows itself. And the Six of Swords can mean that you might be taking a trip, and that can be one where you are traveling over water or by water. But it also represents the beginning of a metaphorical journey in your life. And, having those cards together, the Death card and the Six of Swords, wow, it just never ceases to amaze me, the messages that come through. It really is like you are turning your back on that negative situation that was holding you and keeping you stuck, and you are moving on and moving to calmer waters and to the life that you really want to be living. Now, your final card is Cherishing Self. Now, what a beautiful card. Now, this card here is, I always say with these cards, now these are the Gateway Oracle cards. I was guided to these cards. I was looking for a new deck to purchase, and this one came across my path. And when I looked at the imagery, it's so simple yet so beautiful. And when you look at it and just meditate on it, intuitive messages will come through for you. Well, they certainly do for me. So if you're an intuitive person and you like to meditate, just focus on that card. There might be something in the imagery that just is significant for you, or it's telling you something specific. So if you are getting messages through just by looking at this card, they are significant and you need to listen to them. And that's true for all of the cards. So if you do see anything in any of the other cards that I'm not touching on, but you think, no, I'm getting this from that, my intuition is telling me this, that's important. These messages are for you. And if you read something into it, then that's exactly what the message is for you. But I'm going to read out what this card means from the book. So the mantra for this card is, I accept and love myself. So there are times to put your own needs above the needs and expectations of others. Put yourself first today. Buy yourself roses. Invite yourself out to a sumptuous dinner, or buy that special gift for yourself that you've been putting off. Treat yourself the way you would treat an honored guest. The universe wants you to know, be your own advocate. Spend time cherishing yourself kindly and gently. Focus on what is wondrous and remarkable about you. When you truly care for yourself, you are able to care for others even more and make a difference in their lives. It's difficult to give when your cup is only half full. But when your cup is overflowing, you have more than enough to offer others. In the same way that a flight attendant tells you to put on your own oxygen mask before assisting others with theirs in an emergency, cherish yourself first, and then others will benefit even more. And that is just such a poignant message. You really need to cherish yourself in November. You've put in the hard yards. You are going to be going through this deep transformation where things are now going to be on the right track and moving forward. You've got some big decisions that still need to be made, but with that Nine of Cups, that Make-A-Wish card, things are going to come true for you. So, aim big, beautiful Libras. I hope that resonated with you. I hope you have a wonderful month. If you're into crystals, check out my website at kazana.com.au. There's some beautiful crystal pieces there. They're all one-off pieces only. You're not going to find 100 of these out there. They are handmade and designed in Australia by an Australian designer. So check those out if you're into crystals. The meanings of the crystals are also on that website. So have a wonderful month, Libras. Bye. Love you.